In the heart of the vast sun-drenched savanna lived a little lion cub named Leo. Unlike his boisterous brothers and sisters, Leo was a bit different. While they practiced their roars and pounced on unsuspecting butterflies, Leo preferred the quiet shade of the acacia tree, watching the world go by. His heart, though full of courage, was a little shy. He had a magnificent, fluffy mane for a cub his age, but his roar was more of a squeak. The other young animals would sometimes tease him. "Leo, the squeaky lion," they'd giggle. Leo would just lower his head, his tiny mane covering his sad eyes. One sunny afternoon, Leo's father, the mighty King Mufasa of the Pride, gathered all the young cubs. "It is time," he announced, his voice echoing across the plains. "For the trial of the roar, each of you must climb to the top of Pride Rock and let out a roar so powerful it shakes the leaves from the baobab trees. This is a rite of passage for every future king and queen of this land." A thrill of excitement rippled through the cubs. All except Leo. His little heart sank. Climb Pride Rock. Roar. He couldn't even scare a grasshopper. He wanted to run and hide, but he saw the proud look in his father's eyes and knew he had to try. The next morning, the trials began. One by one, Leo's siblings scrambled up the rocky path. They were strong and confident. At the peak, they stood tall and let out impressive, if not quite earth-shaking, roars. The pride cheered for each one. Then it was Leo's turn. He took a deep breath and started the climb. The path was steeper than it looked. His small paws slipped on the loose stones. He could hear the whispers from below. "He'll never make it." A hyena snickered from the shadows. Leo's legs trembled. He felt a tear roll down his furry cheek. He wanted to give up. Just as he was about to turn back, he heard a soft voice. "Don't listen to them." Leo looked around and saw Zola, a wise old tortoise, munching on a hibiscus flower nearby. Zola had seen many generations of lions take this trial. "Your roar doesn't come from your throat, little one," she said kindly. "It comes from your heart. It's not about being the loudest, it's about being the bravest you can be." Leo looked at the old tortoise. Her shell was covered in the marks of a long and challenging life, yet her eyes were kind and steady. Her words echoed in his mind. "It's about being the bravest you can be." Leo thought about his family, about his desire to make his father proud, and about the kind of lion he wanted to be. He wasn't the biggest or the loudest, but Zola was right. He could be brave. He took another step, then another. He ignored the steep drop and the watching eyes. He focused only on the next paw placement, his heart beating a steady rhythm of, "I can do this." It was no longer about the roar. It was about conquering the climb, about conquering his own fear. His paws found their grip. His small body felt stronger with each step. He was no longer the shy cub from the acacia tree. He was Leo, the climber. Finally, with a last mighty push, he scrambled onto the summit of Pride Rock. He was panting, his fur was dusty, but he had made it. He stood where his father and all the great kings before him had stood. He looked out over the vast expanse of the savannah. It was beautiful. The wind whistled in his ears, and for the first time he felt like he truly belonged there. He looked down and saw Zola, the tortoise, giving him a slow, encouraging nod. He saw his mother's anxious face and his father's stern, yet hopeful gaze. He remembered Zola's words. It wasn't about being loud. It was about being brave. Leo took the deepest breath he had ever taken. He puffed out his chest, filled his lungs with the air of the savannah, and let out his roar. It wasn't a mighty, earth-shaking roar like his father's. It didn't make the leaves tremble. It was a high-pitched, clear, and determined squeak that echoed across the clearing. It was his roar, and in that moment, it was the most powerful sound in the world. For a second, there was silence. The hyenas started to laugh, but then something amazing happened. His father, King Mufasa, let out a tremendous roar, not of disappointment, but of pride. Then his mother joined in, and soon the whole pride was roaring, their voices swelling together in a chorus of support. They weren't roaring at the volume of his squeak. They were roaring for his courage. They were celebrating his journey, not just his destination. From that day on, no one called him Leo, the squeaky lion. They called him Leo the Brave. He still wasn't the loudest lion in the savannah, and that was okay. He learned that true strength isn't about the noise you make, but about the courage you show when you're afraid. He learned that believing in yourself is the most powerful roar of all. Leo often visited Zola, and they would share stories under the acacia tree. He grew into a wise and kind lion, respected not for the volume of his voice, but for the size of his heart. And every now and then he'd climb to the top of Pride Rock, look out over his home, and let out his proud, unique roar, a reminder to all that bravery comes in all shapes, sizes, and sounds. So, if you ever feel small or scared or think your voice isn't loud enough to be heard, remember Leo the Brave. Remember that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's about taking that next step even when your legs are trembling. It's about finding the roar that comes from your heart. Your unique voice is powerful, and your bravery can inspire a whole pride. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.